Hello and welcome to ITIM number 9. Today we're here with Business Coach Extraordinaire Glenn Irvine. Welcome, Glenn.
Welcome, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So thanks for joining us. The reason why I wanted to interview Glenn is because this time of year, January, everybody's got these big goals. They've got their New Year's resolutions, and we get stuck into business and forget about all the ideas that we had over the Christmas and New Year break. So we're going to get some tips off Glenn around about how to do that. So straight into that, Glenn. Give us some tips. Start of the year, January 2019. What should small businesses be doing this time of year?
Yeah, the big one is when you first come back, and quite often you've had a week off or had a bit of a break, you've got to hit the ground running. So I always say to my business owners, start with the personal, because your personal will drive your behaviour. If there's some personal goals that you really wanted to think about for 2019, have them written down to start with, because you must have a written goal, because if it's not written, it's not real.
Yeah.
And if you write it down, think about how you want to feel in the future, because that's the biggest mistake people make when they write a goal, is they'll sit there and they'll write it as it's happening, but it's more around how you want to feel at the end of it. So it's actually a great exercise to sit down and think about, how do I feel now about 2018? What worked, what didn't, what could I have done better, and reflect on that, and then think about, well, just imagine you're now sitting here and it's 2020 and it might be the first, the second, the third, whatever it may be. How do you want to feel this time next year? And write that down, because that's what we call a good emotional goal. And your emotions will drive your behaviour. So when you coach a lot of people, and I've been doing it nearly 15 years now, you listen to a lot of that behaviour, but it's digging down to the emotion that's really driving that behaviour. And the biggest mistake most people make is they're not writing down a goal, but even if they do, they're not thinking around what are the 2 or 3 little things that I need to do every day to change my behaviour towards that goal.
Okay, what could those 2 or 3 little things be?
And it's the minute things. It takes 21 to 28 days to change a habit. So you need to think through, how do I do that? So it could be something very small, and great ones, just drink more water. It could be something as simple as that. Could be have a meeting with your admin person or PA, or might be set up a regular time to have better conversations with your managers. Could be something as simple as stand-up meetings, no more sit-down meetings. Sit-down meetings are the devil of time. So if someone sits down in your office, you can lose half an hour in a heartbeat.
That's a good little tip there. You gave me that one time, and I did use that. Every time someone would walk into my office, I would stand up, because if they walked into my office and sat down, I've lost half an hour. So when someone would walk into my office, I would stand up, and therefore they wouldn't sit down, and it often saved me 20 minutes or so. That's an excellent tip.
And so it's little things like that. So you've already got your financial budget set for the year. You're heading into quarter 3. I'm not sure how your quarter 1, quarter 2 went. You'll probably sit down and review that come the 10th or the 15th of the month. But the other thing I'd really suggest is sit down and think about what's achievable from now until the end of the financial year. And think about when you'll sit down and plan the next financial year, because that's all really important. And we struggle because we get so busy, and I get it. The modern world's busy. But if you don't sit down and make those plans and commit those times, you'll run out of time. Simple as that.
With goals, so it's easy to say write some goals down. But life gets in the way, right? So what's a good way of writing down goals that we'll actually be able to keep to and stick to? Because it's easy to say, I want to do this and want to do that, but what's the next step after that of actually trying to achieve those goals? Because we write the goals down and then we go off and do our work and forget about what we've written down, and then we look at it in 2 or 3 months' time and go, I haven't really achieved anything. So you get down and you become disheartened. How do you continue to focus on those goals?
Well, and that's obviously having a good coach that's continually trying to remind you of where you want to be and
so have someone you're accountable to.
Yeah, exactly. Accountability is the key. So if you've got someone, an accountability partner, and in the business I work in, MB&M, we're all about that accountability process.
Yep.
And continually trying to ask each other, what we want to achieve, and keep each other accountable for that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's around consequences. Sometimes you've got to be clear around what happens if you don't achieve that outcome or don't achieve that step. So
as you're writing a goal, should you put in what if you don't achieve it?
or
what's the consequence?
What's the consequence of it? If I don't take that step, what might happen if I don't take that step? Because that'll really heighten the need and the emotion to take that step. So I think it's really important that you spend the time to do more than just write a goal. Write down exactly what's the reality of that goal, what's the way forward, who you'll share the goal with, who's going to keep you accountable, how often you report back to that person, or engage your team around that accountability process, because it makes a dramatic difference to your behaviour.
So two key things there: having someone you're accountable to, give your goals to your wife, your partner, your boss, the partner's business partner, or your business coach, and let them be accountable to that.
And it's even like, we're all in business. You need more than just the people within your business. So it might be your accountant, might be even a lawyer or solicitor that you're dealing with. You should have a team, your business team. So it's obviously, sometimes sharing those goals with those people really helps as well. So that when you show up, they're going to ask that question.
Yes, and then you feel bad going there.
Well, especially with budgets, because budgets are such a hard thing to set. We all want growth and we all want to make more profit in business. But it's often identifying what the key KPIs are to achieve that outcome. And quite often they're not so much just the numbers of your business, it's the behaviours of your business. So it's identifying those within that business.
Excellent. Now you just said, it's very remiss of me to not get you to do the intro at the start, but you said we're currently at MB&M in Shepparton here. What's your background? Just a bit of it.
Mine's an interesting journey. I've done a lot of different jobs. Bought my first business when I was 25, a sports store. Crashed and bashed through a whole range of different things. And then one day I come across coaching and thought, I really liked the vocation and liked helping people. And certainly thinking back to my first business and wishing I had had a coach then because I would have made a lot more money. But also, it's not always about the money. I keep saying to clients, you've got to enjoy the journey because the journey will end. You're either going to shut your business or sell your business. Now, if you've got the plans right and you want to sell it, setting that up for sale, it takes time. So having that understanding, and I come across different courses, did a life coaching, business coaching and executive coach course, then went on to do a diploma in workplace business coaching, and that was one of the first people, 7 people in Australia to do it. It was,
and that's where we first met. It was Solutions for You. That was what it was called.
I went out on my own and set up Solutions for You, and then met the MB&M guys and decided that it was a good partnership. And nearly 10 years here now, and I've been a director for just under 5. So it's been an interesting journey. So not being the accountant or a financial planner in this world's been interesting too, but it's taught me a lot. But also too, just to have exposure to a whole range of different businesses and relationships has been fantastic. So I've enjoyed the journey. It's nearly 15 years now of coaching.
That's good. Now you mentioned something there about when your business is going to end. So whether it come a time, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, whatever it may be, it's going to end sometime. And you said about either selling or shutting it down. Now that leads back to finding your why, I guess. Glenn once said to me when I was running a store and I was working with Glenn, he said, "What happens when?" My goal was to get the store up and running and working well. And Glenn said to me, "What happens when that happens?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I was a bit lost at the time, and we sort of came down to the fact that I wanted 2 and 3 and 4 stores after getting that first one set up. So I guess it's if we can talk about finding your why a little bit, having that end in mind.
It's probably the one thing I enjoy most about coaching people is when you first get to meet someone and you ask that question, what's the purpose? Are you doing it for money, or are you doing it because you love the industry you're in, or what's your why? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And when you drill down on that, it's really fascinating as to what drives the thinking and behaviours of that individual. And I always challenge my clients on thinking bigger, because you can expand, but the rate of expansion, can be very costly and takes a lot of cash. So even just challenging someone's thinking around how do you get the maximum out of currently what you have, and then from there, is it stepping you out of the business so you're not working so much in the business anymore, and trying to understand someone's real passion and purpose around that, because we get bogged down, and I'm sure everyone watching has the same problem. We get bogged down in our business so quickly day to day that we often forget why we're there. What was the reason I bought?
What's the big picture?
You started this business, or you bought this business, and
why did you do that?
Why did you do that? You went in with a bit of passion. Don't lose that passion. And I've come across business owners. And I've got one at the moment, they've been in business just under 10 years. And the funny story, they saw me crossing the street and thought, I know Irby does a bit of coaching, I'll get him in to challenge my thinking. And it's been a really exciting journey, because all of a sudden they've shifted their whole mindset around what they thought they wanted to what actually they really, really want. It's being clear around that, and it's what I enjoy most about my job. It's 6 months into the engagement, they're just so much more relaxed. Life's easier, they're a little bit stress-free, they're back enjoying why they started the business, all those sort of things.
And you challenged me on that a little bit. We've been working together for a few years, and I've always said I wanted to buy a business or start my own. You said, well, why? And I was like, at first I was like, well, I don't know, I just want to have my own business. And I guess some people, you can see the passion. Like my sister, for example, she loves making kombucha. If you saw the ITIM number 8, you'll see the passion come out in the interview. She just loves making it, and that's why she does it every day. Whereas for guys like myself, for example, I just like helping people, and it's a different why. And often money is not the driver for that why. It's just a matter of finding the right why and why you want to get up and
correct. And that's the great two questions they'll ask of people often is who do you want to help, and who do you want to hang around with, because in business and in life, in work, you're helping someone do something, but you got to remember day to day you're hanging around with those sort of people, so you got to enjoy the company of those people. Correct. So it becomes a pretty exciting future when you're really enjoying who you're helping. And the big key as you're going through the journey and starting your business is enjoying who you help and finding those right people to help.
Correct.
And not helping people that probably don't fit the model of what you
mold.
And also then obviously valuing your time and making sure they can see the value in that time and pay for that value.
Yes, that's right.
Which is an important aspect of it all.
And so if you are thinking about buying a business or starting a business, probably suggest have a chat with Glenn first to understand the why first. And for me, I can resonate for that, because I was going to buy a shop and Glenn asked me why, and I said, well, I don't know, I just want to buy my own business. But I didn't have any passion or any purpose or behind it. So that sort of made me realise, well, don't go and waste all that money on buying that shop, because I wouldn't have lasted, because I didn't have the passion for it. And that sort of led me to where I am now, following my passion a little bit.
Well, you're out there dealing with business owners, and I'm sure there's people that might watch this video that may have had the experience of bought a business because it makes a lot of money, or and what you pay for that business, then what you can sell for that business, and they get bogged down in that. But if you're not enjoying the product or service that you're delivering,
and the day-to-day process,
it runs down.
It's just a job that you hate that you get paid for at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So it definitely changed my direction for sure.
And businesses way too hard and too demanding
when you don't like it.
And when you don't like it,
Moving on, what's the most common mistake or common question you're getting with people coming to see you? What's it? The common thing that you see with businesses?
Probably the most common thing at the moment, because of the dramatic change in the way the internet and social media and digital media have affected businesses, is, well, how do I tap into that? And what is my business now worth? Because we've gone from very much a geographic to a global platform now, and it's really interesting as to how that's impacting businesses. And you read a lot of stories around the disruption of it all, but it still comes back to fundamental. You've got to be able to engage people and deliver a service. So the big question I get is for the established business owners, well, what do you think my business might be worth, Irvie? What do you reckon I could sell it for? And that's such a hard question because there's so many factors in selling a business. But the key component that I say to people all the time is you've got to be able to take yourself out of that business, because if someone's looking to buy your business or you're looking to bring someone in, they're not going to pay a lot of money, because if it centres around you and you disappear, that's those relationships, those database connections that you have will potentially disappear as well.
There's no goodwill anymore.
No, well, people say that all the time. There's no goodwill anymore. I disagree. There is goodwill because there's a lot of good businesses out there that build up a really good brand. But the challenge is you've got to have that turnkey business that doesn't rely on. And I hammer my clients all the time around people and process. And I know I did with you. You've got to get the process right, and the people have got to be able to manage the process, and the process will manage the people. And McDonald's is still,
great example,
the greatest example on the planet. So I think, when you're understanding the value of your business, and you must keep that in mind, because too many business owners don't. They'll just plod along for 5-10 years and go, I want to sell it, and they think it's going to be a big golden egg at the end of.
They haven't got the processes in place to hand over to someone else.
Exactly. And someone will pick it apart, and the biggest question anyone that I work with who's buying a business, I say to them, well, what would it cost you to set that business up and start from scratch? What's the risk versus spending all this money on buying that database or buying that brand? So that's probably the key question I get.
Yeah, excellent. So we're just going to do a couple of little selfish plugs here. Glenn specialises in succession planning. So that's talking about how to sell your business. So if you are thinking about selling your business, give Glenn a call, because he'll be able to help you. He'll ask you these hard questions that you'll go, holy shit, I wasn't ready for that. And it will really help you, I guess, even if it's just a chat to get you started. Because I know you've saved me a lot of money many times when I've got this business plan. What do you reckon about this? I don't know. I come and ask me a couple of questions, and I'm like, I don't know what the answer to that. So it's really helps you get your mindset right, so you can take that next step.
100%. And I work with a lot of different clients, and that's certainly one section that I work with. You're either buying, building, or selling your business, and when people in that building to sale process, it can take 2 to 5 years. And I've been working with one guy over in Wang, and we're in year 3. And the difference between his business when we started to now, and he said the other day, he said, I actually don't know whether I want to sell my business anymore. He said, because I'm enjoying my business more than I ever have. And he's been in business for nearly 30 years. So it's that reality. But he's getting close to retirement, and it can take 2, 3, 4 years to sell a business. So it's a journey, and you've got to be prepared for it. And
you've helped him enjoy his business, and he doesn't want to sell it. So what's got a question for? Do you have a question for the audience? Something that you would like to hear?
I guess my great 3 questions that I fire out to everybody, and I'm happy to interact with anybody who wants to what's working well, what's not, and what can you do better. Really identify one of those 3 components right now, because the year will disappear pretty quickly. All of a sudden, it's Australia Day ticks over, and then all of a sudden, it's Easter, and all of a sudden it's the end of the financial year. So if you can really understand what is working well, my question is, play to your strengths. So tell me, what are your great strengths in your business, and how are you going to leverage off those strengths?
Okay.
That'd be my great question to people out there, because if you can really work out what it is you're doing above and beyond your competitors in the marketplace, leverage that, because that will drive your behaviour but also drive your bottom line.
So continue doing your strengths, stop doing things that
aren't making you money,
and start doing a different behaviour that will generate some positivity in the business.
Correct. Yeah.
Excellent.
So understand your procrastination. That's the key. You know, you're putting things off. You're not doing things. Why? And understand what it is, because quite often it is you're just not comfortable or you're not enjoying that process. So my question is, why do it? You know, get someone else to do it.
Enjoying it, stop it.
Yeah, stop it and start doing the things you enjoy, because you'll get so much more out of your business by that simple action.
Yeah, excellent. Well, mate, thanks for your time today.
That's right.
I know we can talk all day, but we'll wrap it up now. Just again, a bit of a selfish plug. Make sure if you've got questions or if you've made it to this far down the video, please like, share, comment. We'd love to hear your comments and love to hear what you have to say or what you think about the interview. Or if you had any questions for Glenn, just put them in there or hit Glenn up at MB&M in Shepparton. Your time will be definitely worth it for sure.
Thanks, Tim. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again, mate.
Yeah, good luck with it.
Thanks, everyone.